Now, here's the thing. Some of you are going to think that what Paul says here is complete and utter nonsense. Some of you might even identify as someone who practices the sort of behaviours that Paul lists. And some of you might think that, well, if this is what the wrath of God is letting me do, make heaps of money and provide for my family, have someone who cares for me in my home, who I love, well, there's no way that this can be wrong. And guess what? If that's what you think, it's not my job here today to convince you otherwise. But what I want to say to you today, and to all of us today, is to remember that the book of Romans holds the key to us living a good life, a conquering life, a life full of fullness and joy, a life that is truly satisfying and full of hope. And if you're interested in the life and the solutions that Romans offers, if you want Romans 8, you go and read Romans 8 after this service today. And if you want all that Paul promises there about a love from which you can never be separated, about a life which conquers all evil, if you want Romans 8, then you might need to start letting your mind entertain the problem to which Romans 8 is the solution. You've got to grapple with Romans 1, with what Paul is saying here, that a self-centered life lived without God is ultimately not going to get you what you are hoping for, not here and not in eternity. And what I want to say to you today, regardless of how you're feeling, regardless of whether you're convinced or not, is I want to implore you to at least entertain the possibility that some of the ways that you live your life and enjoy could be wrong, could be the fruit of self-centeredness. And I want to remind you about those companies that I talked about before, Kodak and Blockbuster, or the people that I got you to think of who just won't admit obvious problems in their life. I want you to say, as we go on this journey, have an open mind. Don't ignore what potentially, according to Paul, according to God, could be one of your biggest problems in life. And realize that life without God means no salvation, no righteousness, no justice, only wrath and death. And if that's not the trajectory on which you want your life to point, then come to Jesus. For in him alone is righteousness, justice, truth, and salvation from our self-centered way of life.